tears well up in their eyes at the slightest provocation. A touching commercial, a heartfelt conversation, even a poignant movie scene can send them spiraling into a wave of emotion. Society often labels them as weak, overly sensitive, or even dramatic. But what if first told you that crying easily isn't a sign of weakness? What if it's actually a remarkable strength, a unique window into the human experience? Today, we are diving into the psychology of people who cry easily. We're exploring why they're wired this way, the surprising benefits they often enjoy, and the misconceptions that surround them. If you've ever felt judged for your emotional responses or just want to understand the people in your life who wear their hearts on their sleeves, this one's for you. The emotional spectrum of highly sensitive people. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to feel everything more intensely? Like when a movie scene touches their heart, their eyes instantly well up with tears. This isn't weakness, it's a sign of high sensitivity. Highly sensitive people, often referred to as HSPs, experience emotions more deeply and vividly than others. Their emotional spectrum is like a rainbow with more shades, each one richer and more pronounced. It's not that they're sadder or happier, but that their joy, sorrow, and everything in between is amplified. Take, for instance, a highly sensitive person in a crowded room. While others might feel mildly overwhelmed, an HSP might feel their senses assaulted. The hum of conversations, the bright lights, the smell of food, it all comes at them like a tidal wave. Their nervous system is more reactive, processing more information and experiencing it more intensely. This isn't a flaw, it's just how their brain is wired. It's like they have a volume control that's always set a notch higher. But this heightened sensitivity isn't just about feeling more. It's also about feeling more nuanced emotions. Where others might feel happy, an HSP might feel a complex blend of happiness, gratitude, and even a touch of melancholy. They're not just sad, they're profoundly sad, often with a layer of understanding or insight that others might miss. This emotional complexity can make their tears seem like they're overreacting, but in reality, they're experiencing a depth of emotion that others might not be privy to. For example, they might cry at a sunrise, moved by its beauty and the start of a new day, while others might simply acknowledge it as a nice view. The neurological side of easy crying. Ever noticed how some people seem to tear up at the slightest emotional cue? It's not just about being overly sensitive. Their brains might be wired differently. The neurological side of easy crying is fascinating and complex. It involves a delicate interplay of brain structures and neurotransmitters. The amygdala, often referred to as the brain's emotional hub, plays a significant role. It processes emotional responses, including fear, anxiety, and pleasure. In people who cry easily, the amygdala may be more sensitive or reactive. This heightened sensitivity can lead to more frequent or intense emotional responses. It's like having a car alarm that goes off at the slightest vibration. The hypothalamus also contributes to this phenomenon. It's a small but crucial part of the brain that regulates various automatic functions, including emotional responses. The hypothalamus triggers the release of hormones that prepare the body for emotional reactions. In those prone to easy crying, the hypothalamus might be more reactive. This increased reactivity can result in more frequent tearful episodes. It's similar to how a sprinkler system might activate more readily in a highly sensitive area. Neurotransmitters, the brain's chemical messengers, are another key player. Serotonin and dopamine, for instance, influence mood and emotional regulation. Imbalances in these neurotransmitters can affect emotional responses. People with lower serotonin levels might be more prone to crying. This is because serotonin helps regulate mood and emotional stability. Similarly, dopamine, which is associated with pleasure and reward, can also impact emotional reactivity. Think of it like a thermostat that's set too high, causing the air conditioning to kick in more often. Additionally, the brain's limbic system, which includes the amygdala and hypothalamus, communicates closely with the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. In individuals who cry easily, this communication might be less effective. It's like a traffic system with poor signage, leading to more frequent emotional detours. This can result in less control over emotional responses. Understanding these neurological factors can help demystify easy crying. It's not a sign of weakness but a reflection of unique brain wiring. Societal perceptions and misconceptions. Society often paints a picture of emotional stoicism as strength. You've probably seen it. The tough guy in movies who never cries, the businessperson who keeps a straight face during tough decisions. This stereotype suggests that crying is a sign of weakness, and that's where misconceptions begin to take root. But here's the thing, crying is a natural human response, not a weakness. Let's talk about the workplace, a microcosm of societal perceptions. A study by the University of Tilburg in the Netherlands found that people who cry at work are often seen as less competent and less in control of their emotions. This perception can lead to real consequences, like being passed over for promotions or not being taken seriously. But consider this, crying isn't a sign of incompetence. It's a sign of emotional intelligence, the ability to express and manage emotions in a healthy way. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world, like Oprah Winfrey and Richard Branson, have spoken openly about the power of crying. Now, let's challenge another misconception, that crying is always a sign of sadness or weakness. In reality, people cry for a variety of reasons. They might cry from happiness, like at a wedding or the birth of a child. Or they might cry from frustration, like when dealing with a difficult situation. Tears can also be a physical response, like when chopping onions. But society often interprets these tears through a narrow lens, assuming that they always signify sadness or weakness. This is a misconception that needs to be addressed. Crying is a complex emotional language, and it's time we start understanding its many dialects. The benefits of emotional expression. You know that feeling when a movie scene, a song, or even a heartfelt conversation brings a sudden rush of emotions, and tears start welling up? It's a common experience, and it's often misunderstood. Those tears, contrary to popular belief, aren't a sign of weakness. They're a natural, healthy way to process emotions. In fact, crying can be incredibly beneficial for our mental and physical health. Think about a time when you held back tears, trying to be strong. It's exhausting, isn't it? That's because suppressing emotions takes a toll on our bodies. According to research, emotional expression, including crying, helps to reduce stress. When we cry, our bodies release stress hormones, and we often feel a sense of relief afterward. It's like a pressure valve, letting out the steam that builds up inside us. For instance, a good cry after a long, stressful day can make you feel lighter, more at ease, ready to face the next day. Moreover, crying can be a form of communication. Tears can convey emotions that words can't. When someone sees us cry, they often respond with empathy and support. This social bonding can strengthen relationships. Ever noticed how a mutual cry can bring people closer? It's because tears have a unique way of connecting us, fostering understanding and compassion. For example, sharing tears with a friend during a difficult time can deepen your bond and provide mutual comfort. Lastly, crying can aid in emotional healing. It's a way of acknowledging and processing our feelings. When we cry, we are not just expressing sadness. We can cry from joy, frustration, or even relief. Each type of tear serves a purpose, helping us navigate the complex world of emotions. Consider the tears of joy at a wedding or the tears of relief when a long ordeal ends. They're all part of our emotional journey, guiding us towards healing and growth. Navigating a world that misunderstands. People who cry easily often face a world that doesn't understand their tears. Society tends to label them as weak or overly emotional. This misunderstanding can make their daily lives more challenging. For instance, a person might burst into tears during a meaningful movie scene. Others in the room might scoff or tell them to stop being so sensitive. This reaction can be hurtful. It's important to remember that crying is a natural human response. It's not a sign of weakness. Researchers have found that tears can actually help reduce stress. They release emotional pain and allow the body to process difficult feelings. However, many people don't know this. They see tears and assume the worst. Consider a workplace scenario. An employee receives constructive criticism from their boss. They might cry, not out of weakness, but because they care deeply about their job. Colleagues might see this and think the employee can't handle the pressure. In reality, the opposite is true. The employee is showing their emotional investment. They're willing to grow and improve. Misunderstandings like these happen every day. People who cry easily often feel isolated. They might feel like they don't fit in. But it's crucial to recognize that their tears are a sign of their depth of feeling. They are not weak. They are deeply empathetic. They feel things more intensely than others. This is a strength, not a weakness. You've been there, right? That moment when someone says, "You're so emotional," and you feel a pang of defensiveness. But here's the thing, crying isn't about weakness. It's about your brain's amazing ability to process emotions. You've learned that people who cry easily are often more empathetic, more self-aware, and sometimes even more resilient. It's not about being weak, it's about being human. Think about it. When you cry, you're not just releasing tears. You're releasing stress, processing grief, or even celebrating joy. It's your body's way of hitting the reset button. Those who cry easily are often the ones who feel deeply, who connect deeply, and who understand the world with a depth that others might miss. So, next time someone says, "You're so emotional," remember, it's not an insult. It's a sign of your capacity to feel, to understand, and to connect. And that, my friend, is a strength. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the psychology behind everyday experiences. Next time, we'll be diving into the fascinating world of introverts and why they often feel drained after social interactions. See you then.